Alrighty, guys. Good morning, everybody. Happy Saturday. Hope everyone's having a beautiful morning so far. Hope you guys are unwinding from the work week and the crazy week we just had last week. Hope everyone is doing good, my friends. Let's go ahead and jump right on into it. Let's go ahead and see who we have here so far before we get on into it. We got ourselves Tabletop. We have Brewing. We have Proxy 2.0. We got ourselves Christmas. We got Tabletop, but what's up, man? We got Phantom. We got Brayven. Kristen, Christy, what's up, guys? Hope everyone's doing fantastic. So, we do got some new information on this other system that we're watching. Now, they actually upped the probability of development now. We are talking an overall 40% chance now of development. Yesterday was a 30% chance. So throughout the next 7 days, we have a 40% chance of this thing becoming either a tropical depression or a tropical storm. So that is within the next 7 days. Now, throughout the next 2 days, the next 48 hours, we are not expecting any development out of this system here. It's going to take a couple days before it kind of comes off of northern South America, and it's going to roll its way into the Caribbean, as we're getting ready to see here on the models. Then, kind of right around the 1st and 2nd of October, and then it's going to work its way towards the Gulf somewhere, which we'll look at the latest model guidance and look at all that stuff. But what's up, everybody? What's up, Teresa? Hope you're doing good. What's up, Ponderosa? Let's see here. What's up, Christian? Let's see here. We have Tom. What's up, guys? Hope everyone's doing good, Brayven. But yeah, let's go ahead and hop into the models. We're not going to waste any time here. We're going to get on into the nitty-gritty here. We're going to hop over here to the 06 Zulu GFS. This is the brand new run that we have here, the latest run that we got here on the GFS. So, as of right now, as of things stand, you can see the time in the top right up there if you guys want to follow along. That's in Eastern time zone, by the way. Just letting y'all know. So we do have the remains of, Helene and what it was basically doing. It's stalling out over Kentucky. It's been kind of sitting there and just kind of decaying over the last several hours. But it's still there, as we did see on the satellite imagery too. If you look closely, you can actually see that counterclockwise spin going over Kentucky right now. So that's what's left of Helene. By the way, ignore that graphic there. That's outdated on the top right there. That's no longer valid, of course, as you probably know. But yeah. So that's what's left of Helene. Actually, let's hop over here. So that storm's, mostly done. It was quite a beast of a storm. But yeah, that's what's left of Helene. So we work our way down in time here. That just kind of fizzles out. Then what ends up happening as we approach our way into October 1st, you kind of notice a little bit of a low starting to develop out there, kind of towards the southern Caribbean, heading out there towards like the western Caribbean as we roll our way into like the second here. This has been pretty consistent with the models, and we're going to dive into different models here as well, kind of, seeing their perspective on this storm here. But you can see that the GFS does have the system kind of developing here for the first, going into the second, as it tracks its way through the western Caribbean. Now, as we approach our way here into the third, according to GFS, now, like I said, take this with a grain of salt, take this fairly lightly. The GFS does have this thing going into the Gulf here, right around the 4th, going up here into the 5th. Now, it does have this thing ending up kind of near Louisiana, Mississippi, Alabama. Now, this is just way too far out to be for sure. Like I mentioned, this is just, a bit too far out to tell exactly where the thing's going to end up and how strong it is. But according to the GFS, we could get into hurricane strength here, according to the latest model. Now, the previous run, if we take a look at it, the previous run, the 0 Zulu from basically late yesterday, showed the same system, going through the Caribbean, going through the western side, entering the Gulf here, kind of right around the 4th. Has it kind of going into the Central Gulf and, impacting relatively where the latest model run goes. It actually has that system ultimately going a little bit further west, but still ultimately kind of, ending up where the 06 Zulu run shows the thing, landing. Obviously, this model previously shows it a lot more aggressive, a lot more nasty here, showing that potentially a pretty strong hurricane. But remember, the strength at this point, the track at this point is still unknown. But what we can pick up from this is that there is continual guidance from the models here, suggesting this system there overall. So that is according to the GFS. Now we'll hop to the 18 Zulu. This will be the last one we look at the GFS here. So the 18 Zulu from yesterday. basically yesterday evening or yesterday afternoon here, showed pretty much the exact same thing. So it seems like the last couple of model runs are kind of consistent here, from the GFS. But I do expect there to start being some form of uncertainty at some point. Well, there's a lot of uncertainty right now, but I do expect the model to start kind of going all over the place here throughout the next couple of days here. But anyway, so yeah, that's something I wanted to go ahead and mention to you guys. The timing of this storm here is going to be, like we mentioned here, we have the southern Caribbean, throughout the first, working its way into the western Caribbean between the second and the third, then working its way into the Gulf around the fourth and the fifth. So that's kind of the time frame from what the models are suggesting here. Let's hop over to Euro. Let's take a look at the ECMWF, the Zero Zulu run. So according to Euro, it's a lot different, but it does show that system, ultimately ending up there towards the Gulf here, towards like the Central Gulf. I will say this: the Euro has been very much underwhelming this year. The European model has been pretty. I think it's been doing pretty terrible this year. The Euro, sometimes Euro has good years and bad years, just like all the other models. But yeah, the Euro has been kind of underdoing these storms. I mean, it underdid the last several storms that we've had. Like Helene, it in the beginning, when the GFS was saying that this thing was going to be something big for Helene, the Euro was like, nah, man, this is probably not going to be anything super crazy. But, so that's what I'm saying. Euro, I'm not trusting Euro too much right now. But yeah, anyways, Euro still supports it though. Showing a broad low out there towards the Gulf. Kind of for the the first week or so here of October, kind of in the late first week, early. Let's see, what day is that? That's like the 6th, the 5th and 6th. Let me pull up my calendar here. Let's see, the 5th is on a Saturday, so this is gonna be for late next week here. Let's see here. Yeah, the Euro has been pretty bad, Anna. Has been pretty bad this year. Let's see. Let the chase begin. Yeah, there's still a lot of things we don't understand or we don't really know about the storm right now. Let's see here. Steering is still up in the air, right? There's no way for us to know yet. Absolutely, yeah. No, the track and the intensity and the size of the storm is still unknown. But what we can grasp from what these models are suggesting is the fact that they have been continuous and they have been supportive of some form of tropical system developing here kind of towards the southern Caribbean around the first, tracking through into the second, and then going into towards the third, towards like the western Caribbean, just shy to the east of the Yucatan. Then pulling its way into the Gulf around the fourth, going towards the middle Gulf, maybe around the fifth, and then wherever it ends up, we don't know. Like I said, it could be a strong storm. I mean, it could even be a dud. I mean, we really cannot tell that right now. Just based off of the the model guidance, but there has been a lot of support, from multiple models suggesting the fact that yes, the system will be existent. It is at this point, I do think it's quite probable that this system will develop at some point. But once again, how big, where it ends up, how large the storm or how strong the storm is still relatively unknown here with this guy. Let's go ahead and hop over to CMC. This is, I believe the CMC is a Canadian model here. So the Canadian CMC here suggests that storm, doing the same thing. You can kind of see it developing right here. This is for October 1st. You can see that in the top right of the screen. So that's the timing. And as we work our way into the second, it rolls through the western, the western Gulf out there, kind of, getting shy near just east of the Yucatan and west of Cuba there for the third. And then, of course, as we approach our way into the fourth, we roll our way into the Caribbean, and then it kind of picks up some strength as we kind of, the Gulf, as it picks up some strength as we roll into the Gulf here overall. That is, wow, that's an interesting run. So, like I mentioned, size, strength, and track is still fairly unknown here. But yeah, what we can see though is that the models are supporting it. Not only GFS but also like Euro, as well as the Icon. The Icon supports it too, but CMC model and stuff like that. Let's actually look at the Icon. We'll go ahead and show you guys. The 12 Zulu is still rendering, but you can actually see how it kind of develops up there towards the Gulf. The 06. I don't think the O6 reaches out that far here. Here's the 0 Zulu run. You can see that the 0 Zulu also supports that system, somewhere in the Gulf here for right around the 5th or so. So, the models, like I said, depending on which one you look at, I mean, they are all on board, but to a different extent. That's an interesting trend. That shows another storm here. Let's pull this up to the North Atlantic real quickly. Wow. Icon shows a couple other storms actually developing. You all see that? Yeah, I mean, we're definitely heading into quite an active period here in the tropics. We got a couple other systems that we're also going to be watching here out towards the MDR, the main development region. Some of these guys look like fish storms potentially, which we'll have to continue monitoring. GFS also shows it as well. Shows that that depression that disturbance out there towards the Cabo Verde. Working its way here to the west and, maybe getting pulled up, out to sea there. We'll have to see. We'll definitely just have to monitor this and, continue watching, the possibility. But, like I mentioned, you can see here that the GFS, has been supporting that system here, developing, working its way through the Caribbean and then pulling its way into the Gulf here. Like I said, ending up probably somewhere along the Gulf Coast somewhere. We'll have to see. But, we'll keep an eye on it. Let's see. When was the last time a tropical wave from Africa made landfall in the U.S.? I think it was Beryl, right? I want to say it was Beryl. Beryl, I believe, came off of Africa. It went through the Lesser Antilles. It became a Category 5 just west of the Antilles here, and then it went to the west. It hit the Yucatan, and then kind of went up here towards Texas. I think it was Beryl. I'm pretty sure that was the last one that did that overall. Tabletop says, man, I hope this thing doesn't do what Helene did in terms of track. I hope not. Those areas really got pounded. Like I mentioned, we'll keep you guys updated with it, though. We'll keep on talking about it. Right now, there's no reason to worry for the storm right now. All we just need to do at the current moment is just watch the storm. Just keep an eye on it. Just kind of watch and see what the models and stuff like that do. There's still a lot of things that we don't know about the storm here, so we'll definitely be looking out there for that. What we can grab this early is, like I said, that there will probably be a tropical system developing somewhere there towards like the Southern Caribbean, the Western Caribbean, tracking between the 1st and the 3rd, then working its way into the Gulf for the 4th and the 5th of October. Ultimately where it ends up, once again, we don't know. How strong is it going to be? We're not too sure. And of course, the track, how strong it is, and how big the storm is overall. Where there still is a lot of uncertainty, and there will continue to be quite a bit of uncertainty for several more days to come here. So, but that's what the latest GFS has been showing there. Once again, CMC suggested as well. Roughly in the same position, but remember, this is not final. We're still kind of far from being final here. We got ourselves the icon here showing, a bit of a different story. This one actually, the icon has it going pretty far west, pretty deep into the western side of the Gulf here, but then, takes a sharp kind of northeasterly movement and kind of works its way up there more towards like the central Gulf there. But like I said, as you can tell, that there still is a lot of uncertainty, in the track, the intensity, and stuff like that. Let's see. New Orleans again. Like I said, we don't know if this thing's going to impact New Orleans. Some of the latest models, like the GFS, just GFSing. Like I said, that's not final. Those models that show it going out towards that way is not final. Absolutely not. Let's see. All these places are already devastated. It looks like the Panhandle on the model. Yeah, like I said, don't take those models serious right now. They're still kind of in early talks with the storm here. Still in early talks. I mean, the storm could, not even be over here. Come towards the day here. It could be a weak storm. It could be, a decent storm. It could track far west, or it could, track for far east. Like I said, we really don't know at this point. We really don't know at this point. It's still a little too early to tell. Jazzy Mom says, thank you for keeping us updated. You're very welcome. Very, very welcome, my friend. Glad to be here. Glad to help out. Let's see. It missed Tennessee pretty good, and with Gainesville, Tennessee. Yeah, it did hit eastern Tennessee, pretty decently. I mean, you guys got a good amount of rainfall out there. It really hit western North Carolina very hard. You guys got a lot of rain out of that system. That was just, quite a nasty storm in general. It's very, very unfortunate what we dealt with. I mean, even here where I'm at in Polk County, Florida. I mean, it was pretty windy. Like I said, my neighbors' shingles were flying off, and the siding of their house was coming undone as well. And it was all mangled. Here, I'll show you guys a picture. I mean, it was a pretty bad storm. I mean, even for us inland, like Polk County is relatively inland. I'm out here in Lakeland, and I mean, it was pretty bad. Here's a photo of our neighbor here. You can see that their siding was completely peeling off here. I mean, it did get pretty bad. It definitely did get pretty bad. Let's see here. I want to find. See, I have a video floating around here somewhere of their shingles like moving. It was definitely pretty gnarly. Yeah, but our neighbor's shingles were also like coming up and stuff like that. So it was like, dude. Anyways, let's see. Any tropical wave, Africa to the Caribbean to be watched. So as of right now, we'll go ahead and hop our way to the full North Atlantic view. There is, some other storms that we're watching. Overall, we do have another system that we're paying attention to. You can see the marker here. This guy has a 60% chance of development in the next 7 days, and of course a 20% chance in the next 2 days. So formation is unlikely throughout the next 48 hours, but throughout the next week, it's likely that we're gonna have another system here. Now, whenever it comes to it, like I said, that storm right now is kind of located here over the Cabo Verde. Here, let's go ahead and hop over here. Proxy, we're not going to show that on stream. I'm not logged in on my Twitter on my computer here. Let me go ahead and pop up this view. Here, we're going to pull just a view over here towards, we're going to need to redo this. This program is so slow, dude. Here, we're gonna hop over to this way. It'll be a little bit better if we just do it. Here we go, Atlantic wide. Let's hop the full screen here. Once again, ignore that graphic up there. It's a little off. It's a little outdated there. But yeah, the storm right now, you can kind of see it's just a bunch of disorganized showers and stuff that we're watching. We have this little guy here too. This one's, probably not going to really do too much. But yeah, that's the one out there towards the Cabo Verde that we need to look out there for. But yeah, hopping back over here to the models and such, you can see that grouping of thunderstorms will eventually work its way here to the west here. Maybe gaining some traction. As of now, it looks like it could be a fish storm, just remaining out to sea, which would be a good thing. And of course, you got that other system that we're looking at that could be tracking from the Caribbean here into the Gulf at some point. Once again, the timing for the one out there towards the Caribbean going into the Gulf, it looks like it's going to start to develop here around October 1st. Throughout the 2nd here towards like the Western Caribbean, getting towards the channel here between the Caribbean and the Gulf right around the 3rd, tracking into the Gulf around the 4th, getting towards like the Central Gulf maybe around the 5th or so. And like I said, we don't know where it's going to end up. This is still not for sure. Now the GFS suggests this thing going up there towards like Louisiana, Mississippi, but this is still very much early talk in the models, and this is gonna change a lot by the time that we do get to these dates here. So I just want to keep that in mind and let you guys remember that these models are still in early talk, and that there's still a lot of things that we really don't know, and that we need to kind of work out the kinks over the next couple of days. But the models have been consistent, though, of this system developing. There's a lot of the models that do suggest it. If we hop over here back to the ensembles, this is the EPS here. So the ensembles is basically one model with a bunch of what we call members, like little individual runs here. You can kind of see each member is showing a red number that's in pressure. So 1,004 millibars for that guy, 1,001 for him. You can see kind of a big grouping over here towards like the Western Caribbean for the October 3rd day. You can see in the top right. So then, of course, as we work our way out there, this model ends here, but we're gonna pick it back up with the 0 Zulu. As we approach our way into the 4th, you can see that a lot of members have the 4th and 5th has a lot of those members, working their way up there towards the Gulf. Some in the Central, some in the Western, and then of course, those models continue to spread out throughout the 6th. Still being a lot out there towards the Gulf. You notice how there's a lot of other members over here. That is from that other system that we'll need to watch out for as well. But anyways, yeah, you can kind of see there, that there's just a lot of members that worked their way up into the Gulf here right around the 5th or so. So that's EPS. Now we got ourselves GEFS. This is another one. So that was Helene right there. That one's over with in the past track, and you can see that the members here. There they go. Yeah, you can see the members coming up throughout the October 3rd, commute here, showing that system out there in the Western Caribbean. Then driving its way up here into the Gulf right around the 5th, and you can see a lot of members, some particularly strong too, working their way up there into the Eastern Gulf, and then kind of just dispersing all across the Gulf Coast here. Once again, we don't know exactly where that's going to end up, and then of course you got all these other members here from that other storm that we should also be monitoring. But for now, it seems like it's not too big of a threat. The one to the far, the one way out there to sea, but this guy could be a bit of a concern once again. But anyways, yeah, you can kind of see there that all those members kind of work their way up here from the Southern Caribbean for the 1st and towards the Middle Caribbean here for the 2nd. And up there towards like the Northwestern Caribbean here for the 3rd. Then of course tracking in the Gulf for the 4th and the 5th, and then throughout like the 6th. Will be right around impact day potentially due to a lot of these members. So keep that in mind. And of course, lastly, we had the GEPS. That was the GEFS we were looking at, in which the GEPS shows very similar activity here for the 2nd. Has that storm up there towards the Western Caribbean, tracking into the Gulf here for the 4th, and a lot of those members working their way up there, kind of towards the Central Gulf here overall. So you can definitely see that there is support here. You guys can see that all the models we've looked at here does support the system. Remember, those were the members. Here's the the GFS. We actually have the 12 Zulu coming in here soon. Let's see here. So you can see that according to the GFS, the latest one, it tracks throughout the Southern Caribbean here for October 1st. Whoops. Throughout October 1st, going in towards like the Middle Western Caribbean here for the 2nd, tracking up there towards the inlet between Yucatan and Cuba for the 3rd, going into the Gulf for the 4th, towards the Middle Gulf around the 5th, and then according to this model ends up somewhere along like the middle northern Gulf Coast. But remember, that's not final. That's still very far from final. The models, they're going to be still all over the place for the next couple of days here, while we still work out what the system could do. But just know that that's a possibility, and that it's been trending on the models for a couple of days at this point. The models have been talking about this system for a couple of days. Yet again, another system rolling from the Caribbean into the Gulf here. Like I said, obviously we just had Helene, which was a bad storm, and we really don't need this right now. But I hate to tell you, but it does look like that it is a possibility that we are going to have another system rolling from the Caribbean into the Gulf at some point. Like I said, it's not just the GFS. I mean, also other models like the CMC, suggest that system there as well. And other models like Icon, Euro. Icon has it more broad, as you can tell there, but that's just early model talk, and you can see that there is still a lot of uncertainties between those models and everything like that, and there is still a lot of uncertainty both regarding its track, regarding its strength, and regarding its size. That is still heavily unknown, but the models do agree on the fact, kind of around the timing, right around the first, it being there towards like the southern Caribbean, the second kind of the middle western side, and then the third out there kind of towards the Yucatan and western Cuba, and the fourth kind of for the southern Gulf, and then the fifth kind of towards like the northern, maybe the central Gulf. Once again, that's still up for grabs at this point, so we'll have to watch out there for that. Faith Cat says, I found out my friend in Augusta is all right. That's good. Glad to hear that. What's the pressure showing on this one for October 5th? What the icon? So, like I mentioned, this one shows a pretty broad low. Like I said, this one shows a fairly weak icon. Is very much broad here. Now we have like the CMC that shows it, the fourth, maybe the fifth. Up there towards like the northern Gulf. And of course you have like the GFS here that shows. Let's see. The GFS here that shows that system, maybe in the 980s, but remember that is not known at this point. That's definitely going to be a number to change throughout the next couple of days here. That's just one model, one run overall, so that's that. Oh my gosh, dude, no way. Christy Miller just sent us $50 on Cashapp. Are you serious, Christy? You did not have to do that, my friend. No way, man. Christy, thank you so much. That is really, really sweet of you. Thank you so much, Christy. Big shout out goes to you. Thank you so much for the support. That is really, really generous of you. You did not have to do that, my friend. Seriously. Christy, thank you so much. That is really, really nice of you. Wow, that is very generous. Thank you, Christy. Seriously, from the bottom of my heart, that means a lot to me. It helps us out a ton. Thank you. Seriously, Christy. That is really, really sweet of you. I really, really appreciate you. Thank you so much, Christy. Big, big thanks goes to you. That is very, very sweet. Yeah, once again, thank you. I appreciate that. I'm sorry, that just kind of caught me off guard there. Wow, that's very, very sweet of you. So you're awesome for the coverage, Andrew. Thank you. You're very welcome, Christy. Seriously, thank you for that. Thank you for that. Roy, are we gonna get a hurricane Abilene? Unlikely. No, Abilene's not really in the realm of hurricanes too often. What are the support funds on screen for? Just for daily living, expenses and stuff like that. I try to bring in, that amount of money per month. That way I can pay the bills and my softwares, my programs. Just try to support the living here, and stuff like that. But that's what that's for. Yeah, but unfortunately, I can't really tie up the Cash App or the Venmo for that border. That's just for super chats, unfortunately. But anyways, but yeah, that's what that's for. But yeah, I mean, if you guys have any questions about the system, feel free to let me know. Like I mentioned, there still is a lot that we don't understand here. With the system. What we do know is that there is a chance of, pretty decent chance from the models for the last couple of days and the last several models and their model runs, supporting a system developing somewhere here kind of along the southern and western Gulf here, working its way, the southern and western Caribbean, working its way into the Gulf here, kind of right around the, fourth, the fifth or so, according to the models. That's kind of what the median shows us, is that it's going to be right around the fourth, maybe the fifth, as we approach our way into the Gulf here. But what goes on from there, we can't really tell too much. No, this is not HARP. No, not at all. A lot of these are not man-made storms for the people, big conspiracy theorists out there. This is not man-made storms. This is just natural shifts in the cycle. I mean, it happens. It's happened since before even humans were around. Is the East Coast play, or do I expect a mainly Gulf storm? Probably going to remain mainly a Gulf storm. Obviously, like I said, I can't tell that for sure, but from the way that the models have been, suggesting, it seems like the storm has, a possibility, starting in the Caribbean and then working its way out there towards the Gulf there. What is HARP? It's a station up in Alaska that was for experiments, and people think that it was for controlling the weather and stuff like that, which I think's a load of a load. But it's yeah, it was an old facility that's no longer even in service. Let's see here. Royce is gonna let you know about what. But anyways, yeah, no, these are not man-made, guys. Seriously, please don't be ridiculous. These are like I said, these have been for forever, since Earth's existence. I mean, these storms have been kicking up here, but we're not going to get into that topic. It's all that. Let's see. But anyways, yeah, so that's that, y'all. Once again, we'll hop over here back to the ensembles. Let's see here. We have the Zero Zulu, the EPS here, which we'll hop over to the members. So like I said, these are just a bunch of, this is, one solid model with a bunch of what we call members, which like little runs here. So these members, you can kind of see as we approach our way here into, the first and the second. I thought he meant AARP. No way, dude. No way. That's pretty funny. AARP. Bro, no way. Isn't that like an insurance, like a life insurance thing? Oh, buddy. Anyways, so the members, those members of the EPS model, you can see the timing in the top right there, showing around the first and the second, out there kind of towards the southern and western Caribbean here, then working its way into the Gulf here for the fourth, going to the fifth. And you notice a lot of activity on the right-hand side over here, too. That's actually another system that you can see on my screen above here. We'll go ahead and pull that up as well. There's actually two systems that we're watching right now. Technically three, including the one here in the EPAC, but we're focusing on the Atlantic right now. But this guy, this one has a decent chance. This one will likely be the next named storm. This one over here. We have ourselves a 60% chance of, like I said, a 60% chance of overall formation throughout the next week, throughout the next 7 days, and then throughout the next 48 hours, 2 days, 20% chance of development, which is, unlikely, but, still can't be ruled out completely. But then, of course, we got the one that we really, really need to watch. This guy working its way from the western the Western Caribbean, rolling its way into the Gulf here. This one has an overall 40% chance. It did get upgraded since our last update yesterday night, or last night. I don't think anybody ever says yesterday night. Last night. It was at a 30% chance last night. Overall, 0% chance throughout the next 2 days. Once again, this thing's not really expected to start kicking off until right around maybe the second or so. Kind of the first, the second, and third. That's when it's going to be throughout the Western and Southern Caribbean here. So between the first and the third, the storm is going to be in this region here. And of course, between the the fourth and the fifth, the storm's going to somewhere be in the Gulf there. Let's see. Tabletop. I thought you said 600 years of age. About to say, man. But anyways, so that's what we know right now. With the system here, it's there's still a lot of things we need to work out with the models. Once again, we're still not for sure how strong it's going to be, where it's going to go, how big the storm's going to be. That is still very, very much unknown things. But overall, what we can tell you is that, yes, the models have been constant. Not just one model, but, several models have been talking about this system for a couple days now, several model runs. And the timing, like I said, between the first and the third out there kind of towards the the Southern and Western Caribbean here, and in between like the the fourth and the fifth, working its way out there towards like the Gulf at some point. So that's kind of roughly the timing with this system. Once again, those dates are still a couple days away. I mean, we're still in late September. We're getting ready to go into October here. By the time that storm starts to kind of kick up here, that'll be right around about 4 days or so. Which is either anywhere from Tuesday to Thursday. That's when that storm is likely going to start to come together. From Tuesday to Thursday. So obviously, we still got a couple of days before we get there. And there's still a lot of changes that will be made in regarding to the models and stuff like that. So once again, the final verdict is we do not know how big it is. We don't know where it's going to fully go. We know it's likely going to track its way into the Gulf, but where it hits, we don't know. We don't know where it's going to hit. We don't know how strong it's going to be, how large it's going to be. But what we do know is that the models have been talking about this system rolling its way from the Western and Southern Caribbean going into the Gulf here, for like the first week of October. So that is what we need to be monitoring. And like I said, we also have this guy over here. Some of the models, suggest this thing actually just kind of being a fish storm, which, is a good possibility. I ain't too worried about this guy right now. I mean, it is a system that we'll continue to update you guys on as well. But as of now, whenever it comes to it, it doesn't seem like this guy is that much of a problem. But this guy over here could be an issue with time, in which, like I mentioned, we just got Helene. Helene was an absolute monster of a storm. It was a very, very destructive storm. Like I mentioned, we just had Helene, and it's the last thing you want to hear is another potential system, coming up, towards those similar areas. So, we'll have to monitor this very, very closely, in which we'll keep on giving you guys updates, periodically throughout the next several days, and just like how we've been with Helene. We were on the storm since day one, since the models really started talking about the storm. We were on it, and that's a similar thing to this guy. Is that we're catching the early whiffs of the storm here. Once again, this is still early talk in the models and stuff like that, so nothing is final. We're still far from final overall. But yeah, I hope it snows soon. We're getting closer to snow. October, it usually starts up in, I believe, the Rockies. You can start to get some snow up in the Rockies around October. And in November, it starts to pull that up into the northern plains, I'm pretty sure. And in December, it kind of pulls up there maybe towards the Midwest. Some of the Ohio Valley could start to see that. And in January, that's whenever we really start to feel it, like pretty far down towards like the Central Plains, maybe the Southern Plains. This year, it's probably going to be pretty dry. If you guys want to check out our winter forecast, go to our main channel, click on the video. I just made that a couple days ago. Overall, yeah. If you guys are curious about the winter, I did a full breakdown of that. So just know that that's there on the channel. But a snow-a-cane? Nah, this is not going to be. Those aren't too common. We have had instances in the past with tropical systems, working their way up, I believe, up towards New England, and the remains have became associated with some cooler air and actually created snow. We've seen that happen before. There's actually I forgot the name of the storm, but there was one that we tracked that went towards Nova Scotia. In which it turned into some snow, actually, which is pretty interesting. Let's see here, but yeah, snow is still a couple months away, but we're getting closer, man. It'll be here before you know it. Anyways, let's go ahead and hop on back to the models, y'all. We're gonna take a look at this. Once again, for the people just joining. So like I mentioned, we do have some talks, continuous talk between the models here of a system developing here throughout the Caribbean and into the Gulf. There still is a lot of unknowns with the storm here. I'm going to go ahead and say that right off the bat. We do not know where this thing is going to end up completely. We don't know, where it's going to hit. We don't know how strong it's going to be, how large it's going to be. That is stuff that we really cannot say at this point because we really just don't know. However, we do know that there will likely be that system developing along somewhere, in the Western Caribbean, rolling its way into the Gulf at some point. The last several models from the GFS, CMC, Icon, Euro, EPS, GEFS, GEPS. A lot of those models have been continuously talking about this system here for the last couple of days. So it's been consistent. The models have been consistently picking this thing up and, talking about it, and to the point where the Hurricane Center is like, yeah, this is, probably going to be a potential concern. As you can see, that big area that we have here from the Hurricane Center, this is an overall tropical development chance. They put it up to an overall medium chance, from yesterday's low chance. It's starting to gain some, traction here. The models are really starting to pick up on it and stuff like that. So, once again, this is kind of the last thing that you guys, want to hear is another potential system rolling to. This is kind of similar to what Helene did in the beginning. Started off in the Western Caribbean here. And then kind of worked its way up into the Gulf. And I'm not saying that this storm will do a Helene. Like I said, that's still definitely unknown, of what the storm will end up doing. But according to, like the GFS and stuff like that, the latest models, it really does show that system starting off here kind of towards like the Southern Caribbean here right around October 1st, going in towards like the Western Caribbean around the 2nd. And of course here for October 3rd here, we do have ourselves, the system kind of getting right between Western Cuba, the Eastern Yucatan, and then we approach our way into the 4th here. We start to get into the Gulf, and then throughout the 5th, maybe towards like the center Gulf. Like I said, we don't know where it's going to end up. The GFS, the latest couple of models from GFS suggests it maybe going towards like Louisiana, Mississippi, Alabama's coast, Florida Florida Panhandle. Once again, that's nowhere near final. So don't, once again, like I mentioned, that is just not. That's just not known at this point. So, try not to worry. Like I said, there's nobody that needs to panic over this, because there's just so much we don't know. And there's still several days to prepare for the storm if we need to be, and everything like that. So, nothing's final. Nothing is final at all. There is a chance that the storm could pull to the west. It could pull towards the middle or toward the east. That's still unknown. But, models have been consistent on this storm's existence, showing that storm being here throughout the Caribbean and the Gulf. It's been consistent for the last several days here in the last several model runs. Like I mentioned, this is the 06 Zulu GFS. So this is the most recent long run that we have. And you can actually see here that it, this one suggests it maybe going up there towards like, Louisiana, Mississippi, Alabama. Once again, that's far from unknown. Take that lightly. Don't take that serious right now because, that's just what the model is suggesting now. Once again, it's still early talk in the models. There's definitely going to be shifts in track, intensity, everything like that. It's gonna change. Then we have the one from yesterday evening. The 0 Zulu run, in which, yesterday evening's run had the storm maybe going a little bit further to the west here, maybe picking up a little bit more strength, but still kind of ultimately ending up there towards like Louisiana, Mississippi, Alabama. Once again, that is not final. That is very far from final. Then the 18 Zulu from yesterday kind of afternoon, yesterday afternoon's run, kind of showed what the 06 Zulu shows now. So there is a little bit, of support, continuous support here, where the storm ends up going according to the GFS. But remember, that's far from final. That is far from final. Those areas do not, continue to watch the storm if you live across the Gulf Coast. But, at this point in time, like I said, it's just simply way too early to be for sure. We don't know if the storm will be impacting, the Western Gulf, the Central Gulf, or the Eastern Gulf. We really don't know. That's just what it kind of boils down to. So, try not to let it worry you too much. I just want to go ahead and get that information out, out there to let you guys know, like, hey, there might be another system. Models have been continuously talking about this for a while now. So, anyways. Amy says, praying for all in the flooding tragedy. It was bad, dude. It got bad up there in like western North Carolina. We've had over a foot of rain fall in those regions, in which all of that rain had to go somewhere, through the creeks, the streams, the rivers, and then all that flows down to somewhere. And those low-lying areas have been absolutely flooded. So, yeah, absolutely. Please keep your prayers out for those people. It was certainly pretty nasty out there. Helene was just a bad storm all around. Anyways, and like I said, this is kind of the last thing you guys want to hear is, maybe another storm developing here, which I get it. It's unfortunate, but, it needs to be talked about. It needs to be mentioned. Like I said, as much as I really don't want this storm to happen, like I mentioned, it's nature, man. Stuff like this happens, time to time here overall. Let's see here. Stefan coming in with a $20 Cash App donation. Stefan, thank you so much. I appreciate that, my friend. Stefan, thank you for that. That is really, really sweet of you. I really appreciate that, man. Stefan, wherever you're at, if you're not in chat here, seriously, thank you for that. That means a lot to me. Helps me out a bunch. Helps keep everything rolling here. Helps with the bills. Help with the the programs and stuff like that. So thank you. Seriously, that is greatly appreciated, my friend. You definitely didn't have to do that. Let's see. What's the rainstorm chances for Talladega, Alabama, Sunday the 7th? That's still a good ways away. Any model, any forecast that far out for rainfall is going to be very inaccurate. I really can't tell you right now. That's just, the 7th of October, that's still a good, 9 days away or so? Yeah, I mean, yet alone 2-3 days or more out is pretty difficult to forecast, precise totals for rainfall, yet alone, 8+ days away. Yeah, whatever you could look at, it's never going to be consistent that far out. So, can't really tell you that. Let's see. We're getting the effects of whatever's left of Helene. Gotcha. Winds 10 to 15 miles an hour. Gotcha. Yeah, no, there's the remains of Helene is just kind of chilling. Let's see here. Just kind of chilling over Kentucky right now. If you actually look at the radar, which I'll go ahead and bring up for you guys here. Let me hop you over here. So here's the radar. You can kind of see the, the spinniness. Yeah, you can see that it's still rotating. The pressure out here has been rising steadily, though. We're still right around 1,002 millibars just south of Louisville. Yeah, the storm center is probably right around 1,000 millibars or so right now. Nothing super crazy anymore. The storm has definitely depleted quite a bit. You can see, look at the little wind barbs. You see them, how they're, these guys are going, kind of to the northeast, and you got these guys coming down. So you can obviously see that it, both on the radar and the observations here, that spin that's still going on. But yeah, it's just stalling right now over western Kentucky. Still bringing some rain for you guys. But yeah, yesterday that pressure was down in the 990s and the 980s, which now it's up to the lower thousands. So it's definitely weakening quickly. Yeah, it's weakening very, very fast. So yeah, say goodbye to Helene, which will not be missed. Not be missed one bit. Let's see. Scott says, blessings, take care of your eyes, those monitors from Pinellas, Florida. They're flooding. Channel 8 had a good flyby over the beach. Gotcha. Yeah, I do need to get me some blue, whatever those blue cutoff glasses are. that would probably be good. Yeah, I have 5 monitors here. You can see 4 of them on my camera, but I have another one right here that I'm looking at chat with in my overall layout. So it's not the best on my eyes to be here for hours on it, especially the last couple of days when we've been just constantly doing those updates on Helene and stuff like that. I mean, it's just been gnarly, been very gnarly. Let's see here. Marina, is that how you say your name? I'm saying, hi, I'm new. What's up? Welcome. Hope you're doing good, my friend. Glad to have you here. What's the chances that the storm develops in the Gulf? I would say it's pretty good. As of right now, the Hurricane Center has that system. Let's bring this down over here. As of now, the Hurricane Center has that system here at an overall 40% chance of development, which is an increase from last night's update. I do expect that probability to go up because, according to the models here, I mean, no matter what really model you look at, it's been fairly consistent here. You can see the GFS, showing that system there going from the Caribbean into the Gulf there. That's the 18 Zulu from yesterday. The 0 Zulu from, basically late yesterday, early this morning. You can see that one goes through the Gulf there as well. And then, of course, we got the 06 Zulu, which is, yet again, the latest one we got here. You can actually see that same overall scenario. But remember, like I said, the intensity is not final. There is nothing final about this storm right now. Everything's still very much unknown regarding its track, its size, its strength. That we don't know, and that we really cannot tell you at the moment. We do have like CMC model, which is another model here. We got a new run coming through, so we're gonna have to drop to the previous one, but. You can see the previous model run there as well, showing kind of a similar idea to the GFS. GFS, I've noticed, has that storm potentially kind of curving, while the CMC kind of just supports it going straight. Like I mentioned, there still is a lot of uncertainty here, in its track, its strength, its size. So please just know that these models, don't take these models serious right now. Do not take these models serious right now because of the fact that we are still, a little far out here, for one, but also because, the models are still very much different from one another. So, there is a lot of unknowns here. Let's see here. What's up, Stefan? Athena says, hi, Andrew. Let's see, our power went out after the storm has passed. Blew 2 transformers. The top half of the power pole broke off. Wow, hanging by the wires. Thought I had missed us. Glad you made it through. Thank you, Athena. I appreciate that. That is unfortunate. I'm glad to see that you are you're doing good, my friend. That is definitely unfortunate. Like I said, the storm was a bad one. Helene was not a friendly storm at all. Absolutely not. Well, I'm glad that you're okay. That's what matters. We gotta remember property and stuff like that can be replaced, but human lives cannot, unfortunately. So I'm just glad to see that you're unharmed, you're good. That is all that matters. What radar do I use? GR2 analysts. Yes, indeed. Yeah, this is GR2. You can actually see, like I said, this is the remains of Helene, what's left over. Just kind of stalling over western Kentucky right now towards like Bowling Green is where that low is. The low right now is down to like 1,000 millibars. The core is like right in here. And you can see all those little wind barbs still spinning counterclockwise there. It's pretty cool. But yeah, so that's what's left of Helene. The storm is just rapidly depleting at this point. It's she's basically done. But the effects are still felt throughout a lot of the South. I mean, there's still a lot of people even without power and stuff. Here, let's hop y'all over here. We'll go ahead and pull up our county outages. Yeah, look at the outage map. I mean, there's still a big fallout of power outages throughout the country. I mean, shoot, we still have a lot of Florida's Big Bend area without power. A lot of southeast Georgia. I mean, you can literally just see the track from the storm there. It's just unbelievable. You can really see that went up throughout, Florida's eastern panhandle, Big Bend region, eastern Georgia, kind of western central North Carolina, western central South Carolina, western North Carolina, which they got a lot of rain up here. They got a lot of rain and a lot of flooding. Then, of course, Virginia as well, Kentucky, even bits of southern Ohio and like bits of West Virginia got some power outages out there. I mean, like I said, this was felt throughout numerous states, not just Florida and Georgia. Florida, Georgia, and the Carolinas got the worst of it for sure. But the effects really, really went further up into the country here. Remember, guys, so we're hopping over here to the Eastern Atlantic. We have another system that we're monitoring here in the MDR. This is the main development region here. This one's likely going to be the next name storm. This one has an overall 60% chance for development in the next week. Meanwhile, 20% chance throughout the next 48 hours in the next 2 days. So this is another system that we're going to monitor. Some of the guidance has that storm, actually kind of, just kind of maybe pulling up into the, the ocean here. That is unknown at this point. It's not for sure. We're going to monitor this storm as well, but as of now, it does not seem like a big concern for really anywhere of land at the moment. And then, of course, we do got ourselves, let's see here. Of course, we do got ourselves this guy, the one that could start off anywhere from the 1st to the 3rd. So, according to, latest model guidance, the storm kind of starts here, towards like the southern Caribbean, right around the 1st, and kind of exits the Caribbean around the 3rd. So it starts around the 1st, goes through the 2nd, into the 3rd, and then of course, rolling its way into the Gulf for the 4th and for the 5th. That's, like I said, that's the timing from the latest models. Not just like GFS or whatever, but also like Icon, CMC. Some of those other models suggest that similar timing overall. With everything. So, let's see here. Radar Mega but GR2 costs $100, but it's one time. GR2, I think it's $250, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, I bought GR2 a long time ago. From saving up cutting people's grass. That was back, a long time ago. I ended up was cutting my neighbor's grass and just saving up money for it. $250. It's a little pricey, but it is one-time payment, so it's a powerful program, though. I'll tell you that. It's a good one. Let's see. Atlanta got flooded pretty bad. We were just west of there, but we got lucky, thank God. I'm glad to hear that, Robin. Glad to hear that. How was the winds out there in Atlanta? I remember you guys were in that tropical storm warning. You guys were, expecting some impacts out there. I remember forecasting. It was still pretty good. Let's see. Is there a chance the storm could go east and hit Tampa? We're not ruling out any possibilities right now. Like I said, we don't know if it will or not. It's still simply too early to tell if the storm will even come near Florida. That's not really much known. I mean, there's some models that suggest it, but there's also other models that don't suggest it as well. I mean, like if we hop over to the members here, like GEPS, and we take a look at the Ensemble, members here. You can see that some of those models, I mean, some of them show it going towards Florida, but there's also a couple that go, throughout like the Western Gulf here, the Western Gulf there. The majority of this model suggests that thing going up here towards like the Central Eastern Gulf, according to this model here. You can see how those members come to life here right around October 1st. You can start to see them popping up there throughout the second, kind of pulling up into the Western Caribbean here, rolling our way in towards like the 3rd. You can see kind of there towards that little inlet between the eastern, northeastern tip of the Yucatan and like western Cuba there. And then of course, throughout the 4th, she tracks our way into the Gulf here. And then of course, going up further throughout the 5th and the 6th there. So, this model in particular does show Florida being a potential culprit here. Let's see, we got the GEFS, that's the GEPS we looked at there. Let's see here. So according to the GEFS here, you can see that the similar little grouping there of those members here for right around October 2nd. You can see there in the top right, working our way here into the 3rd here. In the 4th. So once we get to the 3rd, the storm's going to be up there towards that little inlet like I was talking about between Cuba and the Yucatan Peninsula. Then, of course, rolling into the Gulf around the 4th and the 5th here, you can see some of those members are very dispersed. Some of them show the system possibly out there towards like the Western Gulf, while some of them show it, out there kind of towards like the Eastern Gulf. And of course, you notice that there's a lot of things going on over here on the right-hand side of the map as well. That's another system that we're going to be monitoring. That's that other system we were just talking about a minute ago. As of now, it doesn't seem like a big problem on that system, but we'll definitely be monitoring that other storm as well. But but right now, I think the main concern is this guy, the one out here towards the Caribbean going into the Gulf here. I think that's the one that we need to mostly be focusing on at the moment because, once again, there still is a lot of unknowns with what it's going to be, how strong it's going to be, how big it's going to be, where it's going to go. But it does look like the models have been very consistent for the last several days here, last several model runs, multiple models. Pretty much all of the main models are suggesting the system, developing somewhere in the southern Western Caribbean between the 1st and the 3rd of October, rolling into the Gulf between the 4th and the 5th of October. So that could be potential impact dates there. We'll have to see. once again, timing's still not fully known as well. But as of now, that's the timing from the models and so on. What's up, James? Hope you're doing good, my friend. Let's see here. They were strong, but probably not as strong as the other places. Gotcha. Yeah, no. Those winds, they continued to, really push inland from Helene, even throughout like the Carolinas, Virginia, West Virginia, Kentucky, Tennessee, Alabama. Alabama too. Georgia and Florida. I mean, we felt those winds all throughout the southeast. I mean, it was, like I said, it was also a really big storm too. Helene was really big, and something that we don't know about this storm here is the fact that how big is it going to be? There's actually some models here that suggested this thing just being a little itty bitty storm. While some of these other models suggest, it being, kind of a normal sized tropical system. It really just kind of comes down to how much moisture is in the atmosphere and stuff like that. If there's a big supply of moisture like Helene had, the storm potentially could be bigger. However, if there's less moisture, the storm could potentially be a little smaller. But also smaller storms tend to strengthen quicker than bigger storms because you require a lot more energy the bigger your storm is. So that's another thing to, take into consideration when forecasting and stuff like that. Let's see. What's up, SPC? Hope you're doing good. What's up? Let's see here, Peach. Hope you're doing good, my friend. But yeah, so, once again, there still is a lot of things we don't know here. We're going to continue to, monitor this closely. We're going to continue to keep you guys, up to date with everything. There still is a lot of things that we don't know. This is actually the 12 Zulu. This is the brand new GFS here. Once again, showing that system developing around the first, going towards the second, towards the Western Caribbean there, going up there towards that little inlet there for the third. This one actually kind of has it grazing the Yucatan there. Look at that. Once again, that's a change in the model in which, like I said, that's just there still is a lot of unknowns here. Then this one actually has it going pretty far to the west, actually. So once again, it just goes to show you how different these are here. I mean, the models still are hopping around a little bit here, but we'll keep an eye on it. Like I said, you guys know we'll be here for you. We'll keep on updating y'all with everything. We'll keep you guys posted with continuous updates throughout throughout the days here. We'll be doing another live stream this evening for whenever the new set of models like the 18 Zulu comes out. We'll be doing another live stream this evening, sometime probably around 10 o'clock p.m. or so. So we'll be live again for you guys and everything like that. So. We're just starting to get the afternoon models here now. The 12 Zulu is just now starting to render here. What's up, SPC? Hope you're doing good. Are we still in a drought, says Bunzy? Let me pull up the drought monitor. Actually, I haven't looked at the drought monitor here in a little bit. Let's see here. Let's go pull up the old drought monitor here. Last time this updated was September 26th. Actually, the data was valid from the 24th. That's before Helene. Remember, this is before Helene. Shows the Ohio Valley still in a very serious drought out there. Still relatively dry across a lot of the South, but those numbers have likely changed since Helene. Like I said, the map here was released on the 26th, but the data goes as far back as the 24th, which the system made landfall on the 26th. So this does not take consideration of Helene. This was actually released the day of Helene making impacts on Florida. So this is not up to date, but this is just before Helene, the data there. And then that's what's left of Helene right there on the radar. I mean, you can see how it's just a blob at this point. I mean, it's the pressure's down to lower 1,000 marks. The pressure has depleted quite a bit. There's not a whole lot more rain associated with it. I mean, we got a little bit, of course. She's just dying out. And won't be missed. Won't be missed. Absolutely not. Let's see. There shouldn't be any more drought in the southeast. I mean, that rain that we got would definitely help ease it, but there's still probably going to be some areas in drought. Some areas actually didn't really get a whole lot of rain out of this. I mean, obviously, Helene dropped a lot of rain for a lot of people, but, places like where I'm at, I got less than an inch of rain here, and I'm in west central Florida. I got a lot of winds from it, but I didn't get much rain. Those bands were moving super quick. Omar says, could it hit Tampa? We can't tell if it will hit even Florida at this point. It could impact anywhere along any part of the Gulf Coast, honestly. We can't rule that out per se, but we cannot tell you right now if that will be the way it goes. Once again, the models at this point are very uncertain, of where the storm's going to, make landfall, how strong it's going to be, how big the storm's going to be. The models are all over the place here still, overall. Yeah, the latest, look at that, the latest GFS has that thing taking a pretty far dive to the west. Look at that. That storm kind of really pulling west and then maybe kind of pulling north on those last few frames. Yeah, like I said, this model's still rendering here, but once you get into this time frame, 150 hours out or more, it becomes a little bit harder to determine on what she'll do. But remember, this is one model run too, so take that with a grain of salt. Take that fairly lightly. Euro, like I said, Euro's been doing very bad this year. It's been underperforming all of these storms like Helene. It said that Helene was not going to be a bad storm at all, really. Until like the very end, and Euro just shows this thing just at a broad low, like the size of the Gulf of Mexico. So yeah, I'm not trusting that model too much now. I mean, Icon kind of suggested as well, and then of course you have CMC, which kind of agrees somewhat more with like the GFS, maybe a little bit more to the east here, as you could tell. Let me pull up the ECENS ensembles here. We'll go ahead and pull those up for everybody here. Let's hop y'all over here. So obviously we got, that guy we're going to have to watch out for. There's a couple waves that we're also monitoring here. But anyways, so we work our way down in time. So focus down here towards the Caribbean. There you go. There's that system that develops some of the ensemble. Oh, wow. Hold on a minute. Is that another? That is weird. Look at that. It's actually two, according to the, two little systems here. This one goes over the Yucatan, and then there's another set. This is the main one right here. And then this one has it going up there. Oh, wow. Yeah, there's a lot of spread here, though. Look at that. A lot of spread. And, of course, you got this big swath over here from, these guys here. So, there's a couple other waves that we're watching, too, like I said, that we'll just need to monitor. But anyways, so at the moment, guys, so what we can conclude with and what we can finally just say at the moment is that yes, there will likely be another tropical system starting somewhere in the Western Caribbean, the Southern, the Western Caribbean here throughout the first to the third. This one is gonna start kicking up there throughout the Caribbean, rolling into the Gulf maybe around the 4th, the 5th, and the 6th. Throughout the Gulf. And, what we don't know is how strong it's going to be, how big it's going to be, where it's going to hit. We don't know that yet, but we'll continue to update you guys. We'll continue to keep you guys posted on updates and stuff like that whenever they do come out, okay? But anyways, we're going to go live again later this evening, y'all, for more updates and stuff like that. So we're going to keep you guys posted on everything. If you guys did enjoy this, leave a like, subscribe, and most importantly, share this with your friends, your family, your neighbors, your coworkers. Put it on your Facebook wall, your Twitter, whatever, just to kind of help spread the word here and, just keep everybody weather aware and prepared. Like I said, we covered a lot of storms in the past, and, we're going to continue to cover all of them. So if you guys would want to stay updated with that, we'll continue to give you guys that information. So be sure to subscribe, leave a like. But I think we're going to head off here soon. I'm going to go ahead and call for final updates, for final questions. If you guys have any questions that you want me to answer, go ahead and put them in the chat. And we'll be heading off here probably in about 5 or 10 minutes or so. So we'll be heading off here soon. But yeah, if you guys have any questions, anything like that, let me know, okay? Stefan says, keep doing you, bro. Thank you so much for everything. You're very welcome, my friend. Like I said, I'm glad to be here, glad to help you all out. Once again, try not to worry for this. There's a lot we don't understand with the storm right now. There's a lot we don't know. We don't know where it's going to go. We don't know how strong it's going to be. We don't know how big it's going to be. Like I said, I want to go ahead and make sure that that's well known at this point. We don't know a lot about it. But we do know that the models have been consistent. Not only has the main model's been talking about this for days, but it's Hurricane Center and stuff like that's been picking up on it too. The storm is at some point likely going to develop. The probability's been rapidly increasing since yesterday. We were in a low overall formation chance. Now we're in a medium chance from the Hurricane Center, and I do expect that to continue to increase as these models continue to support the system. Like I said, the new 12 Zulus have been coming out here. Let's see here. Here's the 12 Zulu CMC. This is the brand new CMC model. Showing it kind of. This one kind of has it in the Eastern Gulf, like I mentioned. Take that with a grain of salt, because if you look at the GFS, you notice how the GFS has it like kind of towards the West Central Gulf. So that just literally shows you we don't know. And also look at that. Look how small the storm is here on the GFS model compared to the CMC. The CMC is a much more larger system. Not only difference in track, difference in strength, but also difference in size. And that literally is a physical representation to show you guys just how uncertain this is right now regarding what it could end up to be. But what is a thing is that you notice that both models talk about the storm. That is what we need to focus on right now, is that the models are talking about it. They've been talking about it for days now. They've been constantly, consistent on it. But what the impacts are going to be, that's still unknown. And as we continue to, have more of these model runs and, more time to process this information, and as we get closer to the event, the more we'll learn about the system and the more that we can be able to tell you. As of now, there should be no reason for you guys to worry, really panic about this storm here. Try not to let it bother you. Nobody needs to prepare for the storm right now because it's just too early. But what I want you to do at least is just monitor the storm. Keep an eye on our channel here. We'll continue to give you guys updates on it and stuff like that. We'll continue to give you guys those updates that you need, and we'll let you know what it's going to do, what it's trending and stuff like that. So we will make sure to keep you guys updated and everything like that. So once again, we're doing a live stream later tonight, probably around 10 o'clock Eastern time, which will be 9 o'clock Central, 8 Mountain, and 7 Pacific. So if you guys want to join us for an update, we will be doing another one around 10 o'clock or so. But anyways, let's see. Robin says have a good rest of the day. You too, Robin. Thanks for joining. Appreciate it. But alrighty, everybody. Well, that's going to go ahead and wrap it up. Once again, we're going to have a final call for any questions you guys might have. If there's any questions that you want to ask, go ahead and throw it down in the chat and everything like that. I do want to go ahead and give a thank you to Stefan, for the donation, as well as Christy. Christy and Stefan, thank you guys for the donation on Cashapp. I appreciate that, y'all. A lot more than you could ever imagine, as it helps me out a lot, with my bills and these programs and everything like that. So for the people who have donated to us, seriously, from the bottom of my heart, thank you so much. You guys certainly did not have to do that and everything like that. And I'm just truly thankful. So seriously, for the people who have supported us like that, thank you from the bottom of my heart. But anyways, let's see here. Omar says, but I don't have to worry about it. No, I mean, nobody needs to worry about this right now. Nobody needs to panic or worry about it at the moment. But, just keep an eye on it. The verdict is we don't know how strong it's going to be. We don't know how big it's going to be, where it's going to go. But we do know that the system has been consistent in the models for the last couple of days, meaning that the storm is likely going to happen. At this point, I'd say it's a pretty good possibility of the system happening overall. So. Thank you, Isaac. I appreciate that, man. But all right, guys. Well, that's going to go ahead and wrap it up for now. Once again, you guys take care. Have a wonderful rest of your day. We'll catch you guys later on this evening. Like I said, right around 10 o'clock Eastern time, so 9 Central. We'll be here for you guys for another update. So later on this evening, we'll have a new set of model runs, a new set of data coming through, and we'll be able to tell you guys maybe, hopefully, a little bit more about the system. But alrighty, everybody. Well, thank you for joining. You guys have a wonderful rest of your day. You guys have a nice, relaxing weekend. Once again, we'll see you guys later on this evening. If you haven't already, leave a like, hit that subscribe button. Most importantly, share this, to your Facebook, your Twitter, just to help, get that word out there and stuff like that. It'd be greatly appreciated. When will it form? So the models, as of now, suggest this system here. Starting to develop anywhere from the 1st to the 3rd, throughout the 1st to the 3rd here in the southern and western Caribbean, then tracking into the Gulf here right around the 4th and the 5th. Although timing is still not engraved yet, but that's kind of what the majority of the models are suggesting right now regarding that timing. Okay? Alrighty, everybody. Thank you for joining. You guys take care. Have a great rest of your day, and we'll see you guys later on this evening. If you haven't already, leave a like, hit that subscribe button. Be greatly appreciated. Once again, thank you so much, Christy. Thank you so much, Stefan. I appreciate y'all's support. Once again, thank you for the donations and stuff like that. It means the world to me. So thank you for that. But alrighty, everybody. Well, thank you all for joining. You guys take care, and we'll see ya in the next one. See you later, guys. Have a great day.